Who doesn't love Very Special Agent DiNozzo? If you're a fan of the super hit crime television series NCIS, you know that Michael Weatherly's decision to leave the character behind devastated everyone. Today, we're going to be exploring the real reason he decided to leave Hollywood and why he thinks it was the best decision he could have made, even if he's planning on reversing it soon. Stick around because it's one hell of a ride. Starting off with, first up, why he left NCIS. To say life in Hollywood moves fast is an understatement. One week you could be enjoying an episode of your favorite TV series, and the next, you've learned that one of the lead characters is leaving the show. But after 13 years of playing the same character, who could blame Michael Weatherly for leaving NCIS? By the time he left the TV show, his character's love interest, Ziva, had also left the cast. Fans were devastated over the loss. Everyone wanted to see DiNozzo and Ziva get together. The two had a flirtatious relationship for years now, and it had become one of the most important parts of the show. Losing that dynamic didn't affect just the fans, though. Weatherly missed the chemistry between Tony and Ziva, as well as working with Ziva's actress, Cote de Pablo, and so he decided to leave the cast as well. According to him, playing the same character gotten boring, and he started to feel like staying at one party for way too long. The next party he had to go to, though, would take him all the way to the city that never sleeps. Hello, New York. Weatherly's next major role was the titular character on the CBS courtroom drama Bull, which loosely follows the early career of Dr. Phil McGraw, who founded one of the most well-known trials consulting firms of all time, before he went on to become a talk show host, that is. That's right, this is the same Dr. Phil we've all been seeing on TV forever. Weatherly had gone to the crime scene to the courtroom, but it was this role that would cause him to move over 2,000 miles away from his old home in Hollywood. Next up, we're going to be exploring why he decided to take his family and move. Up next, from the West Coast to the East. Now, we all know that FaceTiming your family to meet them isn't even close to the real thing, but to Michael Weatherly, it was the worst thing in the world. Weatherly and his wife were no strangers to being far away from each other. After all, the two had a long-distance relationship for over 2 years before their wedding in 2009. But with 2 kids between them and his responsibilities as a father, long distance just wasn't an option. For almost a year, the actor was commuting between the 2 cities just to see his family in person. It takes a lot of commitment to do that. If anyone deserves a Dad of the Year award, it's Michael Weatherly, or at least a mug anyways. But luck was with them. Bull was renewed for a second season. With the promise of a job for the next year, Weatherly brought up that he wanted his family to move to New York with them. Well, you didn't have to ask them twice. His wife, the self-proclaimed city girl, was very much on board with the idea. So they took their kids, Olivia and Liam, who were 4 and 2 at the time, put their Spanish-style Hollywood Hills home up for rent, got a whopping $250,000 a month for it, packed their bags, and they were off to the Empire State. Of all of the reasons they could have moved to Manhattan, being with his family is definitely the best and cutest. The family always had plans to return to LA one day. After all, no one just forgets the City of Angels. But in the meantime, they had a new city to live in and at least a full season of Bull in front of them. Don't go anywhere yet. But coming up, what was life in New York like? Bull would go on to run for over 6 years, from 2016 to 2022, and for the Weatherly family, their life in New York was a dream come true. Michael Weatherly clearly loves his kids more than anything in the world, and according to him, quitting NCIS and moving to New York was the best decision he could have possibly have made. Considering how young his children were at the time, it's obvious why. Kids who have absent fathers or those that live far away are much more likely to face behavioral problems and rates of mental health issues than those who experienced a complete family life while growing up. And with the number of hours he spent working at the show every week, Weatherly was out of the house way more than when he was with his family. That isn't the best situation to be in, especially when your kids are so young. But the time they spent in New York was the best solution they could have come up with. When the family is together, they get into all sorts of shenanigans. Just recently, Michael Weatherly shared a picture of his dog on Halloween. He also shared a video made by his daughter Olivia being disappointed about summer ending a few months ago. ago. She speaks for all the kids who had to go back to school. In another video, he recounted a knock-knock joke his son told him, comparing his mind to Dr. Seuss and Kanye West. This family gets up to a lot of fun, and seeing Weatherly's mini-me and their pets is always a treat. Although maybe comparing someone's thoughts to Kanye West isn't the best thing to do with recent events. Yikes. But Michael Weatherly probably doesn't have the time to keep up with all of that. He said in a recent interview that his children have him wrapped around their little fingers. From all the adorable videos he shared, everyone can see he has a fatherhood game down to a T. In an interview with People magazine, he said that his marriage and kids are what he's most proud of in life. For a man who has millions of fans around the world, that's saying something. He's a good old regular family man. That doesn't mean he doesn't sometimes struggle though. He talked about the struggle of adjusting to family life after leaving NCIS and how it sometimes gets difficult to balance being authoritative without upsetting his kids, especially when he comes home after a long day of work. According to him, it's hard work being tough on your kids after you've missed them the whole time you're away from them. Oh, stars. They're just like us. But with a wife at his side, it seems nothing is impossible for him. After all, considering she's a medical professional, there's no shortage of responsible people. But Olivia and Liam are 10 and 8 years old now, and after 6 years, his time at Bull has finally come to an end. But now the question is, and now, are they going back to LA? Well, that depends on what the actor decides to do next. According to his Twitter, he's out there looking for new creative challenges to conquer, with Weatherly himself putting fuel to the fire by constantly hinting at his return and even showing up for a 4-episode arc in season 17. Fans are very excited at his possible return to NCIS. The executive producer of the show, Steve Binder, also said at the end of season 19 that he would absolutely love to see that happening. The show has left the door open for him to return for a case or 2 or 3 or as many as he wants. Maybe they're just teasing our feelings, but at this point it doesn't seem to be a question of if we will return to the show, but when, especially when his kids being old enough that the long hours aren't as much of a problem anymore. But what would that mean for his family? And where are they now right now anyway? Well, that's a tough question to answer. It hasn't been reported if Weatherly and his family are back in LA for good now, or if they're splitting their time between the two properties. All we know is that right now, after the 6-year commitment to the Bull ended, the actor is intent on taking a break to just relax. And who can blame him? After working on not 1 but 2 big network productions, it's high time the man gets a break. That said, the Los Angeles place is currently getting a lot of love. Weatherly told People magazine that he loves how spacious it is, especially since you can get time to yourself when you have kids running around. It sounds like an amazing house to raise a family in. And if he does shift back to Hollywood, maybe the fans will get just what they've been waiting for all these years. Only time will tell. Do you think Weatherly will be returning to the crime drama anytime soon? What are your thoughts on him leaving Hollywood? Let us know in the comments below. That's it for today. If you liked the video, please leave a like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more awesome content just like this.